Moon Knight, issue number 9. That's right, folks. This might be the last issue of the current ongoing Moon Knight book to come out before the release of the television show. There's the Devil's Reign tie-in, which I'm going to assume takes place before this because the events of this book takes place after the events of Devil's Reign. I want to say that because I think it's very important because this is the stuff that I think is going to make a lot of Moon Knight fans happy. This issue in particular really feels Warren Ellis-y. It feels like this is Jed MacKay being like, no, I'm going to homage the right parts of the Ellis run that's going to make people and fans just love this book. And you know what? It worked. This issue, while not really integral to the main storyline, it is very strong and interesting. Essentially, it's kind of like the rebranding of Moon Knight's Midnight Mission. So in the last couple of issues, I think issue like 5, Zodiac burned it to the ground. Right? It's done. The Midnight Mission was burned. It's over. He needs a new building to operate out of. This book opens, and we see him falling out of the 6th floor of a building. He crashes into a dumpster. He's like, hey, I'm going to come back. I'm coming for you. I'm going to kill you. We see like a shadowy figure in the window, and we learn that the kind of like the events leading up to this are just like Mark heard there's been a lot of people going missing. He was led to investigate it. We found out that every person went missing on like the 6th floor of this random building. So he went to investigate it. And the thing about the building is like there's no plans for the 6th floor that attach to it. It's just there somehow. It's kind of weird, right? Like why would there be a 6th floor in a building that's not supposed to have one? When Mark walked inside, this is where he learned, oh, this is a maze. It's a labyrinth. It's a room designed to keep you guessing and twisting and turning. We get some nice pages, again, by Cappuccio, just showing like all the skeletons and the floorboards and everything. The way Mark has been trapped there forever, trying to find a way out, trying to find a way to survive. It's meant to make him weak and not actually to kill him, right? So finally, when you are weak enough, the house can actually like take over your mind and possess you and keep you in there to like feed off of. And we learn that the house is alive. It's like this weird mimicky predator that like takes over your mind and tries to control you. And all the people that went missing are probably people that are stuck in the house being controlled by it. Tell me that's not Warren Ellis, baby. Like that is literally, he did something like this, didn't he? Where it's like the ghosts in the house where they're like I don't even want to get into the Ellis stuff. That's another video we'll do probably. But Moon Knight's like, hey, I gotta try a way to save these people, so I'm gonna let my guard down and see if I can do something to let this thing get into my mind. But the moment that this murder house tries to get inside of Moon Knight's mind, it screams and it breaks him, and it vomits him out because his mind is so messed up, it just makes him spit it out like it's bad food, which is on track for Moon Knight. Like every time, I can't believe I have to say this, but it's happened like 3 times I can remember recently. In the Burroughs run, when like the Collective tried to absorb him, they're like, hey, you're really interesting. You're affecting us in a different way. And then it's like, hey, in the Contagion book, when like the weird zombie plague tries to eat him, his mind's so crazy it can't be taken over. And it worked. It worked really well. So we see that Mark is actually telling all of these events to Sternum, who's watching him. She's like, okay, you're losing it, buddy. It's like you fought a weird building. That's fine, but are you sure you're helping people? Like the things that are going bad here, it sounds like you're being watched by the community that's sworn to be on your side, but they might be using you to get information. We learned that Black Panther did approach one of the Reese. He approached Reese. We know Tigra is also working for Black Panther. T'Challa's got his eyes on Moon Knight for some reason. Well, we know the reasons, because he did some crazy shit and locked everybody up and took the powers of everybody. But you see Sternum's like, are you sure you should be doing the superhero stuff? Because you seem to be causing more harm than you are doing good in this situation. Like every time you go to do something, it winds up getting more violent, and you don't save as many people as you think you are when your mission's gone. So like, what is it really that you're doing? And then we cut to the Sanctum Sanctorum. Moon Knight knocks on the front door, and he's like, hey, Wong? Because I'm guessing it's Wong because either Clea's Doctor Strange or now, which I guess Jed MacKay is writing that book, so it would make sense to me that that's what's going on. Okay, cool. So it's like, hey, do you remember when I joined your like Las Vegas Killing Death Squad? Like, oh yes, Midnight Suns. Were they? Okay, I remember this book. It was Damnation. Were they ever referred to as the Midnight Suns outside of the Smallwood artwork? I don't know. It's like, yes, Moon Knight, I do owe you a favor, and I think that was like absolved when you like, assaulted Stephen Strange and stole his powers. Like, fine, I'll owe you one too. It's like, okay, what do you need, dude? Just like, do you have like, I have a question for like esoteric real estate. And it's like, okay, what does that mean? We don't get a lot of glimpses to the larger Marvel universe here, so showing Wong makes sense to me. Again, Jed MacKay's writing the Strange book that's going on right now. Stephen's dead. Clea is married to him, and now she's the Strange. You get it. You're smart enough to understand it. So we cut back to the building with the 6th floor. Reese is waiting outside. She's like, why are you going back into this? She's like, don't worry. I have a plan this time. Everything's going to work. I know what I'm doing. I always come back. Me and this house, we got a lot more common than people realize. So Mark walks back to the 6th floor of this building. He's like, hey, I'm back again. I know I said I wanted to kill you, but you just keep coming back. So I understand what you are. You're like the House of Shadows, a living structure from beyond space and time. You mixed up with Doctor Strange's little friends a few times. They banished you and you're back. You see, we have a lot more in common than you think. People try to banish us. They try to get rid of us. But we keep coming back. You know, we have a lot more in common, you and me. Me and this house, we have a lot in common. Whether anybody wants us to come back or not. And that, to me, is such a powerful line. The way he goes, whether or not anyone wants us to come back, that is such a strong interpretation. That's somebody who gets Moon Knight. Like, right there, it's like, no matter what happens, no matter what the popular zeitgeist is, what the Marvel universe is like, there's always going to be Moon Knight coming back. Whether it's better or ill, he's going to show up. He's like, at first you thought you were a maze. I thought you saw all these different things, but you're a house and you want to be lived in. You want to be welcome, but all these things, it sucks. You know, you don't want to be hated or unwanted. So I have an offer for you. I would like to be the people that in your house, and you know, you want purpose? I can give you purpose. If you want to join me, you could be part of my mission, and we can bring things back together. And we see the eyes of the house just listening to him talk like this, and I'm like, this is insane. Like, I would love to write Moon Knight. I've said that before. I would never in a million years think to be like, okay, what if like a mysterious house showed up in an apartment complex? It was a living organism that's like so derangedly attached to Moon Knight's psychis that it like spits him out because he's so crazy. And what if he offers that house to be part of like his like, you know, priesthood? That is insane. And you know what? It works so well. It works so well. Like, it's such a strong interpretation of just like insanity, and it plays into a great theme that's working really well for Moon Knight so far, and that's like the gothic horror stuff. It's so cool to see. So we cut back to just I guess it's another day, and we see Marcus standing out with Reese and Soldier. They're all looking at the building. They're like, what are we looking at? Like, what are we waiting for? Was something supposed to happen? He's like, don't worry. I'd like you guys to welcome the House of Shadows to our team, or rather the Midnight Mission, and we see that the entire building has now been converted into the new Midnight Mission. The house is willing to accept the offer and becomes a new member of the Moon Knight team. That's insane. That's insane. Like, that is such a weird choice to do for this book, man. But it works really well. It's doing something original and creative that I commend you for. I think it's so Warren Ellisy. It works. The book does end with a little cliffhanger, seeing Rutherford Winter setting his sights on Moon Knight. He's got a gun. It looks like he's about to walk into the mission. Cool. It's cool. Like, this is just great stuff. The artwork continues to blow my mind. Just the narrative flow of this, it works so well. Just seeing Mark go through all of these phases of this one book, you know, just like going to the larger Marvel universe, talking to his therapist, going into the house the first time, going in the second time, being so confident in himself to do all these things. It's super impressive to see. It's such a strong outing for this character, a strong interpretation, and while it doesn't serve a big purpose to the overall story that some people might like, I think it's cool to see that the Midnight Mission is now going to be a living embodiment of an evil house. That's pretty sick. That makes me really excited and really happy. It's good Moon Knight, man. And you know what? We are officially getting... Just listen to this for a second. This month we're getting 2 Moon Knight comic books and a television show premiering. Did you ever think in all of our lives we would be getting this much Moon Knight goodness? And like next month, we got the other book starting up. Like, it's the era of Moon Knight. He's going to become the most popular character in comic books. His book is selling so well, I do not understand what's happening. It's such a good time to be a Moon Knight fan. We will never get a better time than this. So pick up this book and go watch a murder house spit out a psychic son of a bitch for being yucky. It's cool. That's the book. It's awesome. So Moon Knight issue number 9, I'm going to give a 7 out of 10. Now, thank you guys for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And as always, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.
Demon, face the vengeance of the Moon Knight.